Today, most of us go to Amazon.com and click and buy our goods and services, but there's so much more to Amazon that you may not know. In fact, Amazon has a whole division dedicated to freight, and this division is deliriously focused on helping small business owners succeed. I talked to April Taylor, who owns Opulent Transportation, about how she's partnering with Amazon Freight Services to deliver more packages through trucks. Check this interview out and hear how April's growing her business powered by Amazon, and how Amazon, is helping small businesses succeed. Check it out. Hey everybody, welcome and thanks for listening to the Smart Hustle Podcast. I'm Ramon Ray, your host, founder of smarthustle.com. In this episode, we learn how the amazing, I believe amazing, we will see in a few minutes, April Taylor went from being in real estate, and she currently is in real estate, also being an attorney, to now her third turn, we'll put it that way, is having a trucking and transportation business in partnership. I'll use those words and she'll correct me in a bit, with Amazon. So why is the Smart Hustle Podcast important for you, the listener? Well, we do one thing alone. We inspire and educate you to start and grow successful businesses so you can live the life you want, earning a living for your family and supporting your communities. That's what we do. That's what I do all day long. And if you don't mind, if I've earned it, could you give a 5-star review? Not 4.5, not 3.5. I definitely don't want 2 on your favorite podcast. So with that, we'll dive into April Taylor. Welcome. Thanks for joining me on the Smart Hustle Podcast. And I hope you, your family, and those important to you are well on this beautiful day. How are you, April?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Glad to have you with us, April. So spend a few minutes, kick your feet up metaphorically, and tell us a bit, who is April today and who was April a brief period of time ago? Don't go way back, but give us a sense of who's April Taylor, and then maybe talk about a bit the current business of Opulent Transportation. The floor is yours.
Okay, so April Taylor today is in partnership with her husband, Damon Taylor, and we are currently Amazon Freight partners with Amazon, managing a fleet of 15 of their tractors with about 30 full-time drivers, and we have about 5 part-time drivers.
That's a big business, by the way. Kudos to you, meaning it's not, billion, but that's for my small business people, that's a nice size. So congratulations, continue.
Thank you. We continue to run our own 6 flatbed tractors as well on the side. So you have the branded tractors that have the Amazon logo and they're blue for Amazon. And then we have our own fleet of the 6 tractors that run flatbed work.
Got it.
And around that, I also run a franchise, Next Home DA Assets, real estate company. I do have about 8 agents right now and looking to grow. Okay. And I do legal work on the side. I'm normally appointed by a judge to handle personal injury cases. Okay. And I'll do a little bit of real estate, a little bit of probate, and a little bit of estate planning.
So is it fair to say that you live a boring life? Like you wake up not knowing what you're going to do that day. You're just like, I'll watch a soap opera all day. Is that kind of what your life is like day to day?
Wake up. When do I go to sleep? What are you talking about? I don't sleep.
Oh, April, this is going to be a great discussion. So
I tell people all the time, I'm like, a weekend. What is a weekend? My week just kind of goes around in circles.
I hear you. Well, let me ask you this, April, talking about entrepreneurship, and we will get into the trucking business and the partnership with Amazon, but I'm curious, why do you do what you do? Every entrepreneur, every business owner has their own version of why they do it. I'm curious, why do you decide to take on the pain, the agony, the misery, the suffering? Is it to chart your own path? Is it to build more wealth? Is it because you just have that thirst to do stuff? What's the reason, April and husband, that you all do this and choose to have this intensity of work? Help us understand why.
So for us, I think it's more about being our own boss. My husband is not a good employee, and so he can't take direction very well. I've had many of positions where I work for someone, including being a high school teacher. So things like that, for me, it was why? Why am I making money for everyone else instead of making the money myself for me? And it even started with when I became an agent. It's like I didn't like giving 30% to Keller Williams. So what did I need to do so that I get the whole 100%? And that meant being a broker. And so literally I did exactly what I was supposed to do to get to be a broker in 2 years. So it's more about being the owner of what my destiny is.
I
And
love that.
it's also surrounded, I mean, with our children, being available to them and making my own schedule is another reason. But I'm self-motivated. I have that drive, I have the vision, and my husband is in the same boat with me.
I love that. And feel free to disagree, push back when I say this, but is it fair to say, again, I'm a business owner as well, but I respect everybody has their own path. Is it fair to say that you could take the typical, and there's no typical, to those who work 9 to 5, I know you have your own set of problems as well, but you could get a stable job, get a steady check, and work in someone else's playbook. That is one path. But because the other path of it is doing what you've done, there is another set of heartache and misery. You have to, the money flow, the cash flow, when Becky calls out of work, all that's on your back. So am I fair to say that both are choices? And one, those who are listening, those who are thinking, should I be in my own business? I know for me, we're not saying, oh, it's a bed of roses. It's a choice. Which benefit and hardship do you choose? Is that fair do you concur with that or disagree?
I concur. That is exactly what it is. Because when I look at those around me who are employees,
Right.
they're enjoying their weekends.
Yeah.
I may be out somewhere, but I'm still answering the line.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, I enjoy what I do.
Yes. Yeah.
And so if you enjoy what you do and you like, working for someone else and you enjoy your weekends to where you're not bothered, then that's you. But
Yeah.
for me, I enjoy running a business. I enjoy having the opportunities available for those who work for us and being able to reach and touch and influence these additional people in my life just because I'm running a business.
Yeah, that is so true. I'm just taking
So,
some notes here as well. I
yeah,
love
but
that.
I do feel like there's different types of people. And so
Yes.
for entrepreneurs, we kind of think outside of the box.
That's right.
But we wouldn't go anywhere if we didn't have those who wanted to join in our vision with us and help move it forward. I always say that I work for my employees. I'm their support because without them, where would we be?
That's right. I
And
love
so
how you said that. I have the
that's
same
my
attitude.
philosophy.
I love
Mhm.
that. I love that 100%. No, and I agree with you and concur 100%. It's funny, you can tell people who have their own business, assuming they're not on TikTok or anything like that. But if they're over the age of 30 or 40 or 25, whatever the age may be, meaning they're scanning on their phones. I was with my daughter. She's an adult and she teaches at a school. I went to the field trip with her, going back to how we choose to spend our time. I said, my
Yes.
calendar's empty that day. But the point is, he was on his phone. And I knew, just looking at the seriousness of the man, I'm like, I know he's not just messing around on TikTok, but I'm like, I know. He has his own business. That's what it is. In the same way, he owns a pet shop, and he was probably left, right, delegating just a bit. He was present, but just sneaking off a bit to, hey, okay, that's cool. So, anyways, April, I love talking to you. Let's talk about opulent transportation.
Transport.
Opulent transport. Opulent transport. A partner with Amazon. Help us understand what it is at a high level, what this is, this new, and millions of us have heard about it. Amazon has done quite a bit of advertising. The essence, I'll summarize it. If I get it wrong, correct me, but where Amazon essence will help you get into the transportation business and delivery. That's good. I see you now. That's the essence of it. And I believe Amazon will be largely your biggest client and feed you the business so you can deliver it all across America, not you per se, but all your peers. So why did you decide to say yes to that? Because I'm sure you evaluated other opportunities. And then give us an inside look what it's all about and why business owners may want to consider partnering with Amazon. Help us understand it.
So I didn't necessarily say yes. My husband said yes, which
Okay.
meant that I was saying yes. So my husband Damon was originally running our tractors under Amazon. And he literally started off with one tractor, added on a second, added on a third. And so everything that Amazon does is based off of your performance. So if you're performing at a certain percentage, meaning on time, no rejections in the loads that you receive, and no interruptions, then they're going to look at you and say, okay, what else can we do? How else can we help you grow? And they presented us with this program to be an Amazon freight partner. And it was a lot of crunching the numbers for me and making sure that it fit with what our vision
And
was.
April, if I can
And
just pause before you go too long. So the first one was, maybe we'll call it, as a layman, a normal trucking. If I'm wrong, let me know. We'll pay you just to take this widget to that place. No partnership.
yes,
Just okay. Continue on.
correct.
Okay.
Yes, we were just running off of their load board per
Got
se.
it. Okay.
So they reached out, liked the performance. My husband looked at this and he's like, I cannot do this alone. I was actually working as a attorney for New Quest Properties, ended up leaving New Quest Properties and helping him to continue to grow this, because this was a true full-time opportunity that they were offering. And Amazon started us off with 3 tractors. Then we moved up to 5. Then we moved up to 7, then 10, now 15. We were hoping to be at 20 earlier this year. However, the shortage with the chip for the tractors, we're kind of on pause. But basically, they provide the fleet. We lease those tractors from them. We hire the drivers, we pay the drivers, we offer our benefits. So there were certain guidelines. Amazon said, hey, we know that truck drivers don't have that work-life balance most of the time. And so their presentation to us was, these drivers would work 3 days a week, 13 hours a day, and have 4 days with their families. They'll be home every night. And so that made sense to me. It made sense to me to be able to say, look, this is an opportunity for you to continue your trucking career, but also now be a part of your family's life without having to be over the road.
Mm.
And that has made a big difference for the dynamics of our fleet. Our drivers we have quite a few women, and they have families.
Mhm.
And so it's a little easier for them to be able to say, I can be a truck driver, but I can also still be a mom. So that the opportunity there and being able to provide that was a big push for me to figure out how to make these numbers work.
I
And
love that.
Amazon has continued to listen to our feedback in terms of what changes need to be made. What else would help? How could they eliminate some of the expenses that we have to where it started to not make sense? And so with that, they've added on parking for us because we were paying for parking. They're taking care of the fuel. There's just so many different things that they're adding on that's making it more profitable for us, which means that in turn, we can pass along that to our drivers and make this opportunity something that's sustainable for them.
I love that. Can you tell me then why, April? And again, noting you work with Amazon, so I want to respect that, but I'm not some CNN, Fox got you, but I can hear the audience asking, why does Amazon need you then? Not you, but you as in representing this partnership. Because as we know, Amazon, publicly, they're $1 billion company. They buy up everything. They want to probably buy up Walmart, McDonald's, and, all that. But this seems like where Amazon's taking a pause and saying, no, this particular part of our business, we want other people to handle. So, and it seems what I'm hearing, maybe it's the human dimension. They don't want to be in the aspect of managing the trucker part, but tell me, why do you think they need you and the others who are in this program, instead of just buying it out and saying, we'll hire April to be our employee, to be the manager of Amazon trucking in wherever you live, if you understand my question?
So I think that is going to be a twofold answer.
Okay.
The one side of that, I'm sure, would be liability,
Sure.
because any accident that they would have with an Amazon truck that's under them opens up a great asset for
Absolutely.
them to get attacked.
Yeah.
The other side of that is, I think that Amazon is truly vested in helping others to grow. And it could be from the fleet side of it to the DSP side where you have the delivery vans.
Mhm.
And so I think that they genuinely love being able to spread the wealth love being able to say, hey, how can we make an impact on this world, period?
Mm,
And because I don't think that the liability is just the only driving
sure.
factor, because there's a lot more that they do to help us
Absolutely.
outside of that.
And no, I appreciate that. That makes perfect sense as well. And can you help me understand then the numbers, not specifically your numbers, but I think on the website it's pretty public. They minimal start off with X amount. You go fly somewhere to get training, as I understand it. If I'm mixing up programs, correct me. But can you give us
That's
paint
a
a picture
different
of?
program.
Oh, okay. Forget that. Okay.
That's the new program that we actually mentored one of the gentlemen who started that entrepreneurship program,
Okay.
to where they did provide all of that training. That would be a person who's never been in trucking.
Got it.
And I mean, literally, our mentee never drove a truck, doesn't have a CDL. No, I mean, he was a baseball player,
Love
professional
it.
baseball player.
Yes.
And so with that, I'm not sure what the startup cost was for him,
No problem.
but for us, we were already doing it.
Okay.
It was just a matter of them now providing us with their tractors, which we originally started off with diesel, and then we moved over to CNG tractors.
Okay.
So for us, there was no initial startup except for the cost of setting up the ADP and the cost of providing the health insurance and things like that. But there was no startup for us.
Got it. So putting is that a then I'll ask you about your business directly. Is that a cousin to yours? Kind of is there at the highest levels Amazon? Is it a similar program or two different? Because it seems to be in the transportation realm. One is though for the smaller little vans we see going all around, and those who haven't been in it, and one seems maybe for those who are mature truckers. Am I saying the right wording, or am I still lost?
Right. But so for the new program that they started, which would be those who have never been in the trucking industry. So
Okay.
you have your fleet management side, where it's trucks, tractor
I
trailers.
see. Okay.
Then you have the DSP, which is the vans.
Got it.
They also have box trucks. So that's another division to where you can operate their box trucks.
Okay.
But we're doing the tractor trailers, and it is, our part was initially, hey, if you're running off of the load board, you have the experience, you know the system, you know what we need, you know what we want, you already know how to do this.
Mhm.
Come on board
Got it.
and partner with us. We'll provide the tractors. So then the next step that they took was, well, others who don't necessarily have to drive the tractors can also have a freight business.
Got it.
So it's not like there's a hierarchy there.
I understand.
It was just whatever. I don't know who knew who and who came up with the idea, but all of a sudden we have these entrepreneurs who have never been in the trucking industry owning a trucking company, which I'm fine with.
Sure, I understand.
Because I feel like if you're a business-minded person, you should be able to run any type of business.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, it's the same concepts. And so if I wanted to go open up a pet store and I had the connections, I should be able to go open and run a pet store as an entrepreneur.
I love it. So let's dive into then your business. And let me just bring up, if you know what offhand, I forgot the Amazon division. It's called, I think it's Amazon. I'll find that while you're talking in a minute. I should have that, forgive me. But point is, let's dive into then your business and the trucking business, how that works. So talk to those as I understand it. Then I got 2 or 3 trucks, flatbed, you can correct me the terms. I have 2 or 3 of these things. I'm doing fine in my town, Elizabeth, New Jersey, Hawaii, wherever I am. Obviously, Amazon identifies me, but let's say we connect and they're like, hey, you have 2 trucks. Can we help you grow to 30, 40, 50? Yes. Give us your journey, how that works. Are they in essence your biggest client and your job is to manage the people? And if you need a source of trucks, they're like, great, you need 3 more? We can provide it. Help walk me through that.
You just walked everyone through it. That's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened.
Okay.
I mean, we went through 3 interviews and went over the numbers with them. We did background checks and credit checks and things like that. But that's essentially what happened. It was, now you have to hire the drivers and you're going to manage these drivers. We're going to give you loads every week for all of these tractors. and you're responsible for managing, taking care of the accidents, setting up the repairs. We'll pay for the repairs, but you're going to let us know what repairs are needed. We maintain the insurance on the tractors, and it's basically fleet management. We are managing Amazon's fleet of 15 in hopes of growing to 100 as far as I'm concerned, because I do enjoy what we're doing.
And it seems then what the advantage that you have is that two things seem to happen in an ideal world is that A, you have a steady guaranteed flow of customers because your other peers in the trucking industry, no disparagement, but meaning as an example, they have 10 trucks in Texas somewhere. They could be sitting going nowhere because their client of Fast 5 years went into business. Am I hearing right? Meaning that's the
Correct.
possibility. In this case,
So
Amazon's
right.
saying, we're going to flood you with business. So your truck's always
Yes.
moving. And two, if any
Yes.
problem happens, in general speaking, we'll take care of that. But your job is to get bodies in a good way, to get people moving them. Am I hearing then? Is that right?
That's
Okay.
perfect.
Got it. Wow, I feel pretty smart then.
You awesome. I mean,
Just
in our meetings, in our general meetings, the second slide is we are here for Amazon.
Love it.
We are here to serve Amazon's needs. So if Amazon needs tractors to go out at 2 a.m. and run 13 hours, that is what we are here for. When you receive your package at home, it's because we were out there moving the freight to the warehouses so they can then be put on the vans to go out to the customers. And so I remind my drivers all the time, if there was no Amazon, we wouldn't have paychecks. Yeah. So whatever Amazon needs, we're here to serve them.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that, by the way, I looked it up. You may have told me already, forgive me if I didn't hear, but Amazon Freight Partners. So that's just for the audience case. That's this division. We all know Amazon. We click and buy. That's Amazon.com, whatever that's called legally.
Correct.
That's that. There's other division. People see the little blue trucks running around their neighborhoods. That's related. It's all Amazon, but that's another entity. And that's the program that some of you may have heard a year or two ago, which gives you advanced loan and flies you out training. Now we're talking to the amazing April Taylor, who's a multifaceted entrepreneur, has her own business, Opulent Transport, with her and her husband and family, and that's in partnership with Amazon Freight Partners. April, anything else that you wanted to mention or talk to us about this particular program? And my second question will be, let's get back to entrepreneurship and business overall before we end the discussion. But anything about this that I didn't talk to you about that you wanted to bring out and share with people, those listening who clearly are truckers, have an existing business, and are interested in growing it, which I think that's the narrow audience for this. Anything else you want to share?
I would just say that this is a wonderful opportunity to have as a division of what you're already doing. It's not as if you're taking on some other type of business outside of what you already know. I would recommend this program to any trucking company in a heartbeat. Now, they don't need to open up in Houston because we'd like to get as many more tractors as we can, but they can definitely go to any other domicile outside of Houston and see about signing up to become an Amazon Freight Partner.
I love it. So, April, I could just see like a meme, and then you're a friendly person, but like a friendly meme, like, oh no, say another franchise, let's say it's a Dunkin' Donuts. We want to help anybody come into Dunkin'. Oh, wait. You want to open up in Queens, New York? Yeah, well, you know what?
That's right. That's exactly that's right. I'll help you however I can outside of Houston.
I love it, April. Listen, let's go back to business overall, April. There's so many things that I could talk to you about, and I want to respect your time, then give you back some of your day. We could talk about family and business. We could talk about marketing and so many things, but what's the favorite thing on your heart? Anything else you want to add to this discussion that those listening who are entrepreneurs, who are business owners, what could April Taylor tell them from your experience? What's that best advice that you can share with our audience?
For me, the best advice is to enjoy what you're doing. As an entrepreneur, you do have the set of skills to go into any industry because you're just going to hire the correct technicians or those employees who can do the work. But if you enjoy what it is that you're doing, then it's not work. It's just what you do. And that's kind of how I look at it. It's what I do. I enjoy doing it. And I enjoy being able to be a resource for others. I also enjoy that my first cousin works for us. My son works for us. My son's fiance works for us. My girlfriend works for us part-time. So I like being able to be a resource to
Yes.
help those around me and any type of help that I can give to someone and be in the position to help someone. I feel that I definitely have received it back tenfold.
Yeah, wow, that's a blessing. And I'm so glad we talked today, April, for sure. And I think enjoy what you do. And you're right. I'm in the same vein as you, loving to build family legacy or friend legacy, however it is. But April Taylor, thank you so much, who is the co-founder, co-owner of Opulent Transport and a partner with Amazon Freight Partners. My name is Ramon Ray, founder of smarthustle.com. And this is the Smart Hustle Podcast, where we do only one thing, and that's to educate and inspire small business owners to start and grow successful businesses so you can live the lives you want, provide for your families, and support, uplift your communities. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, watching this video, can you please give us a 5-star review? Now, if you heard something you didn't like, if you don't like the sound of my voice, guess what? Still give me a 5-star review. That's fine, because I'm here with April Taylor, Ramon Ray, and we've had such a great discussion. And feel free to go to smarthustle.com for more discussions like this.